Another update from Toronto's SickKids Hospital today. 2 pediatric cancer patients from Ukraine will be transported to that hospital for treatment in the next 24 to 36 hours. These are children battling cancer, forced to flee a war, in dire need of medical care. This is hospitals, maternity wards are being bombed by Russia. According to Ukraine's president, 97 children have been killed since the beginning of the war. For more on the coordinated effort to help Ukrainian children find safety, we welcome to CP24 tonight Bryan McDonald, Executive Director of Aman Lara, an NGO made up of veterans and former interpreters. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here, Lena. Thanks for having me on.
I understand you've helped people get out of Afghanistan. You are now helping facilitate this transfer of these very sick children. Tell us how you're helping.
Well, Aman Lara was founded in the middle of the crisis in Afghanistan about 6 months ago, and we've now helped over 2,000 people get out of Afghanistan. And so we've got those skills. We're now pretty accustomed to getting people out of dangerous places, and we looked at what was happening in Ukraine, and we said, there's a place that we can help. So we've been helping work with SickKids, work with the Government of Canada, and with our air partners, Reticle Ventures, to provide this airlift for these children, and hopefully for subsequent children.
Absolutely. I know the situation is so very fluid, and I know you don't have a ton of answers, but we did hear from SickKids late this afternoon. The hospital says it expects these 2 children to arrive within the next 36 hours. Do you have a better sense of when this may happen? Are these 2 kids en route tonight?
They're not en route yet, but as the CEO says, I mean, we are expecting them within the next 36 hours. So, there's all kinds of things now we have to factor in, things like weather, aircraft planning and that sort of thing. But we have gotten this a long way down the pathway from when we started just 10 days ago. And we've done an incredible amount of coordination with the Government of Canada, with officials here and in Poland. We have people on the ground that have helped to facilitate this. And I think it's a success waiting to happen. And I'm going to be really excited when they touch down, hopefully in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Wow, remarkable that you were able to get all this done in 10 days. That's not a lot of time. I know this has been a coordinated effort, community partners, organizations like yours, SickKids, all levels of government working to make this happen. What has that process been like?
Well, it's wonderful to be on a project where everybody is pulling in the same direction. Like, everybody has been motivated, right from Minister Fraser and his office in immigration, through SickKids, right onto the ground in Poland. I mean, the people operating this clinic in Poland are truly spectacular people. And in every stage of this, we have put the concerns and the considerations for the children and the families first. That's been our top priority. And those people in that clinic are doing incredible work. You can just imagine there's children from all across Ukraine that are coming into that clinic. They have to assess them and then move them on to proper care as quickly as possible. And we are thrilled that we've been able to work with SickKids to make this happen. It's a great story. And like I say, I'm going to be really happy when they touch down, because the coordination has been incredible. And now we want to see it land. And if we can land this flight, then we have already secured another $1 million to help other flights. So we think we can bring more children across very soon, and we're already planning for that.
Okay, that is good to hear. You have the resources to bring over more children, you say. How many do you think, based on the resources that you're working with, can you bring over? Well,
I mean, unfortunately, there's no end to the children that are needing to come. As you can imagine, all of the hospitals in Ukraine are now trying to push their children out into Europe and to other countries. So there's lots of demand there. Like I say, we've secured donations for this flight. These are private donations from Canadians, and we've secured some donations for the next couple of flights. We got $1 million. So we think we could help dozens of children, hopefully, and their families, because we move them as family units, which is very important to their health. So we really appreciate the support of donors from coast to coast, and we have a site, evacuations.ca. So if anyone wants to contribute, we would very much use that money to make sure more children get flown to Canada.
Wow, you say you have another $1 million ready to go. I want to talk about one donor offering $200,000 for an aircraft, and that aircraft will bring these children to Toronto. What does that kind of donation mean to you, your organization, these children, these families?
Mm-hmm. It's incredible. And that donor is Richard Hamm. I want to give him a shout out. I mean, he is the guy who got the ball rolling. And it was always true that if we could just prove this test case, that we could do this, and coordinate all these incredibly difficult bits and pieces, from immigration to flights to weather to caring for the families and the children. If we could get all that aligned and get children here to Canada, then we knew that donation would unlock future donations. And sure enough, we've got more money in the coffers, and we're raising even more to make sure we can bring more families and children here. And that donation was the key that unlocked this whole puzzle. So thrilled that we had a generous donor, and even more thrilled that we now have more generous donors, and that this is not just a game for rich people. This is Canadians from coast to coast that have contributed, and we're looking to go forward and secure more donations so we can bring more children here.
Totally. And, we heard from SickKids Toronto this afternoon, the hospital, saying that it has the capacity, the occupancy to bring over more children fleeing Ukraine. We're also hearing that this is sort of a Team Canada effort, that more hospitals want to open their doors and welcome these children. What more can you tell us about that? Has there been an interest from other hospitals across the country? What are you hearing?
Well, I'm impressed with the leadership that I've seen coming out of Ronnie Cohen and SickKids. I mean, they have really been at the forefront of this. In fact, this is really made possible because SickKids had trained some of these pediatric oncologists that are in Ukraine and Poland. So it's really incredible. And that network, I mean, they have now energized their network. I understand they're in discussions with other hospitals. So, our job is to coordinate that. And to be ready to move children, so that when hospitals in Canada say, hey, we could take some patients here, that we are able to make sure those patients get here safely. And we can do that. We can deliver patients from coast to coast in Canada when the hospitals tell us they're ready to receive them, and when it's good for the patients, good for the children, then we'll make it happen.
You are doing some fantastic work. I've run out of time here, but I do want to give you maybe 10 seconds to tell people where they can go to donate, because I know donations mean everything right now.
Lena, that's so kind of you. Yeah, we are evacuations.ca. So that's evacuations plural.ca. They can go on that website, they'll read about the work we're doing, and they can make a donation there.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Executive Director of Aman Lara, Bryan McDonald, thank you so much for your work, and thanks so much for this conversation.